Hello everyone, welcome to Liberebil. You guys enjoyed the interview with Ernest Page so much. I'm going to continue it. I have Zaid on the channel today. I hope you guys enjoy the video further. I just want to thank all of you. Let me get in touch with him clear. All of you for subscribing and those who became Liberebil partners. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. So let me just see if I can record. Okay, I'm recording. Voila. Zaid, how are you, bro?
Alright, yourself, Niyaaz.
Lekker.
How's the lockdown treating you?
Oh, I was just gonna ask you that same thing now. It's treating me. I think it's treating us all kind of tricky at the moment. What you doing to keep busy?
Well, playing Forza Horizon and Motorsport and catching up on Formula One, which I haven't done in years. So,
Wow.
yeah, doing introvert things, brother.
Yeah, bro. I think we all at the. I think the biggest issue for us now is what happens after. Um, excuse me. Oh, what on earth? What happens after lockdown?
Yeah, it's the thing is, it's not going to be able to go back to normality.
Yeah.
It's it's not going to be the same. And
Yeah.
the shocking thing is that the unemployment stats is going to start increasing because companies have been now without movable income or income that's coming in or profits in that for now a month, and it's going to lead to people being cut.
Yeah.
So
And are
it's a sad
you
reality of it.
you work for BMW, right? So are you still being paid?
Yeah, currently, but it's a very touchy subject at the
Wow.
moment. And I don't work for BMW. I work for SMG Cape Town,
Oh,
which
okay.
is an agency for BMW. So yeah, it's a bit of a touchy subject at the moment
Of course, of course,
between
of
the
course.
mechanics and mid management.
Right, so I know you for a really long time now. You've been a good friend here on the Liberebil. And
Yeah.
you've come so far and also been through so much and still going through so much. I thought it's only appropriate that we have a nice interview with you here on Liberebil. I don't know if you guys remember, Zaid had an interview with me last time. If you guys want to go check that interview out, you can go and check in the comments, sorry, in the description box below. I'll link to that video over there. Um, what else can we talk about? Okay, I have a list of things here to talk about, which is written down. So, but I first want to, but I first want general chit chat. Um, so let's talk quickly. Let's talk for a couple of minutes quickly about Killarney. I, for one, don't think Killarney is going to start this year.
Well, look, it could be true because the gatherings might be still banned after the lockdown has ended, and it's going to be a shame because then it's going to become a white elephant. They have started to think of ways to still generate a bit of income, or at least feed through the gate, if you can put it that way. But to adhere with the rules, like they did just before the lockdown, they made one Saturday available as a closed track day session at a certain fee, and yeah, it was. I don't know if it was well attended because the next one was supposed to be the 28th, and the 28th was already in the second day of the lockdown.
Yeah.
So that wasn't going to happen for the second one. I don't know what the attendance was for the first one though.
Yeah.
But look, businesses and business practice has to adapt now to what is gonna happen after the lockdown, and it's gonna be a really not interesting. It's gonna be very nerve wracking. It's gonna be a lot of teething issues that everybody's gonna have to experience.
Yeah.
Companies have to do things a little bit differently. Look, you've got enough content in your vault to keep it going, whereas I don't have, and it's pretty difficult now for me to keep my channel going at the moment.
I'm actually out of content next week and Thursday. Yeah. So it's a really interesting time to. I've actually spoken to my fleet manager, lovely woman, Mariska, and she's trying to make a plan now. So when they turn lockdown, when lockdown comes to a close, she's going to shorten the amount of time I get a car. So no longer 7 days, only 3 days. So 3 days film, 3 days film, 3 days film. Because when they do lock us down again, which is going to be inevitable, I have content that can go up. And I think that on the lockdown, that's my biggest issue because I won't be able to do modified cars anymore.
Yeah.
I can only do new cars because those cars come sanitized. The guy who I'm sitting next to doing a modified car, he doesn't know where I've been. He doesn't know what I've touched, who I've seen. You know what I mean? So it's too dangerous to still be doing close comfort videos like that. So it's gonna need to take a break now for the next few months. And I really hope Liberebil doesn't take a hit by it because I think you, for one, know it's been a hell of a journey for me to get the channel to where it is now. And to see it like take a dip is really heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. It's all gonna have to change our mindset because I've tried. Well, in the next couple of days, I'll be trying something different. Hopefully, it pans out the way that I want it to pan out. And yeah, I just need to keep the guys entertained. And it's very difficult when you're not able to go out and actually go and physically be at the car to do it, so that you can do your cinematics that you want to do and the information that you want from the owner or the driver of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very big game changer. And as you said, it's going to be 3 days, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Then you've got your content. But for me, it's very difficult because I work during the day and I can't run away from work to do a feature.
Cool. So let's wrap this conversation up so we can start moving on to the more important thing, which is cars. Will SMG open up in 3 weeks' time? Because they obviously need to.
Yeah, look, SMG Cape Town has been on essential services for the flying squad. Since we do service and maintain the 140 hours of the flying squad, the SAPS, which you'll normally see on the N1 and the N2. Those things are not slow at all. No. And then, it's well, the idea is as soon as we can open, we'll be open for business. There probably are quite a few cars that need to be repaired that have maybe broken down during this lockdown period and have to be stayed at home, because look at, if you drive past SMG Cape Town, it's empty outside, it's empty in the workshop. We made sure it was empty on the last day. We were basically done doing our work at about 11 o'clock. And when we had a meeting for about 45 minutes with management with regards to the lockdown and how the process will work. And but they do open up for the flying squad. They have a team of on-call mechanics and service advisors and costing clerks just in case they need to. There's a minimum of at least 2 of them at a time.
Okay, awesome. Let's move on now to our first car topic of the day. And me converting you to like a Mustang.
I knew this was gonna come.
Ernie and I had an argument on the previous video. You guys can click the card on top to check that video out. What do you think about that car as an open-minded person going into Mustang?
Look, I love the M3, the F80. I love it because it's aggressive because of the slightly shorter wheelbase. And the way that, I can't really say the way that we were driving, but the way that the car was performing in the little bit of maneuverability areas, or the lack of space for maneuverability, it was doing pretty well.
Damn well, yeah.
And I told you in the car, I said, if you tried that with an F80 M3, you would have been through somebody's wall.
And this is exactly the conversation I've been having, where people don't realize how competent that new Mustang is with the Darth Vader little helmet in front. That thing is brutal. It's got so much traction. Like, the time of a Mustang crashing into crowds is over. I can tell you that now.
Yeah, but that memo will stay there almost like the Yarata meeting. Oh boy, to go that way.
Yeah, don't go there.
Anyway, let's not go that way. But look, the stigmatism was obviously because of the older Mustangs and the guys that couldn't really control their slides, etc. But look, it should change perception, but it's going to take a couple of years to do so, because, as you said, it's the lowest price in its class. It's below a bar for the full bells and whistles, which is pretty cool. And considering the Supra is at what 1.1 mil now.
Yeah, but you can get
not even fully spec.
Yeah, you can get a Supra under a bar, but it's still more than a full spec Mustang. I think a full spec Mustang comes in at 935, and that's freaking insane value.
Yeah, but under the 950 mark, and you're looking at the Supra at about 980 starting, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure, clued up on this pricing and etc. But that's in its class is the cheapest. It's for me. Okay, I haven't driven the Supra, but what I can say is that the Mustang is probably the better performing one of them. Might not have all the grunt like the rest of them in the class, but for me, from point to point, it's going to give you an idea.
Yeah, no, dude. And you know what? An all-motor engine isn't like a turbocharged engine. It doesn't have the push in your stomach that the F80 gives you. But what an all-motor does is they rev. So that Mustang's revving about just over 7,000 RPM, or if not more. And with a rev kit, they go to about 8,100. 8,000 RPM. And the minute you get a rev kit and a little bit of high flow headers and stuff on that engine, dude, that engine becomes something outerworldly. The Coyote engine, as it stands, is, I think, one of the world's greatest all-motor engines. It is. The Coyotes are putting out power that no one can believe. I was watching this video the other day of the Ford GT500. I think it's called the Predator. It's based on the Coyote. That motor supercharged 8,200 RPM. Over 700 horsepower to the wheels. Guys are doing minor pulley upgrades. Not even opening the motor. Just a pulley upgrade and a cooling upgrade. They're making 975 HP to the floor.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, and the small mods on most of these newer engines, that's going to help you in the long run. Because you might take it for granted this is a small little thing on it.
Yeah.
But rotational mass plays a massive part in torque production and power production.
Yeah.
Now, it's essentially like back in the day, the guys used to take the fan belt off on the beach buggies. It's a drag race. Just so they could get that extra 5 kilowatts, because now there's no drag on the engine because the crank is not rotating anything else. Obviously, double-edged sword, because you get at the bottom, you need to switch off so the car can cool down, because you've got no cooling, because no water pump running. But the small little mods, those small little mods, pulley upgrades, and just your flow. That's remarkable, because funny enough, the new engines are all very restrictive.
Yes.
And they play it in the 75% efficiency margin or reliability margin. Where it can go to the 100%, but they rather play it safe on the 25%. So they hold that 25% back on that. And then obviously users come along, you do your headers and then almost basically nothing, you can say. And you've unlocked the other 25%.
Exactly. And then, I'm becoming such a Mustang fanboy, because when they made the thing look like Darth Vader already, I'm like, right, I'm sold, I want it, I don't care anymore. It's my favorite villain of all time. I need that car. I literally went on Amazon now the other day, and a friend of mine was working in the States. I literally said, dude, I need this t-shirt. I bought like 3 or 4 Darth Vader t-shirts so I can wear in my videos, because I'm just such a fan. Speaking of which, have you gone further with season 7 of Clone Wars?
No, I haven't started Clone Wars.
Dude, amazing.
I don't have Clone Wars available on my side. So
Anyway, this brings us neatly into the conversation of
Mandalorian though.
Yes, Mandalorian is so good. Oh, so good. Anyway, this brings us neatly into the conversation of BMW, and you have great experience. Can we both agree that S55 is turning out to be a lot more reliable than its predecessors? S65, S85, S54.
Well, S55 has proven itself to be pretty reliable. We haven't had many big repairs on them. If you could put it that way, it was mechanical failure in that sense, or lack of maintenance, but it's been driver error that has caused the failures on those cars. Hitting potholes or hitting rocks in the road, hitting the sump off basically, or damaging the whole of the car. So there hasn't been really a mechanical failure on part of the engine that has happened. So yeah, it's the S55 is pretty good, but Niyaaz, the S58T is
Yeah, no.
that is
Yeah.
something else.
I had a go in S58 at in the X4M and X3M at the BMW M Festival. Holy fuck. Dude, that engine is so different to the way S55 delivers its power. It is night and day. I mean, we went back now to solid closed deck block, simple valve train, high rev limiter, forged crankshaft, forged rods, forged pistons. That motor is going to. I know this is gonna be controversial, but I think S55 will be the first engine to tell Taiji to tell 2JZ to foot check.
No, you're talking about the S58. S58.
S58, sorry,
the
S58.
X3
Yeah.
and the X4, which was, as you said, it's been engineered off a B58 engine.
Yeah.
Which has shown remarkable potential.
Yeah.
And we've seen it in the States. Look at Adam LZ. He's ran a 9.9 with his Supra. With B58, he hasn't opened up the motor yet. He's destroyed the diff though.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah, it's the S58. Look at it this way: you compare it to the M5. The M5 is a brute.
Yeah.
It's just power all the time.
Yeah.
But drivability, the S58 in the X3M is amazing. It shunts like the M5. It doesn't give you that I'm on the knife edge type deal with the power, and this car's gonna throw me somewhere. But obviously the X3 is a little bit bigger than the M5, but that S58T delivers the power even with it not even having its running in service, which are normally done at 2,000 kilometers or 6 months after purchase of the vehicle. And then it unlocks the car's potential 100% if you put it that way. So it's going to be an interesting time, because once that motor starts making its way into the 3 Series and into God knows what else. The new 2 Series doesn't look that great though, by the way.
It doesn't. Look, Zaid, there is one big thing hindering M3 and M4 that's going to be launched now soon in the G Series. Is its shocking price tag.
That we knew was gonna come, because look at that. What does the F80 cost new? F80 new, you're looking at over 1.5 bar.
Can't be
1.5.
F80.
Door. Yeah, for a new one, obviously competition.
Holy
the last
moly.
Ura. And then look at the CS M4. You got in the CS, which is the last hurrah for the M4s. Which is starting at 1.9 mil.
Oh.
That's a CS. That's with a carbon fiber bonnet, carbon Kevlar top panels, and non-digital aircon systems, which means it brings the weight down of the car. It makes the same amount of power, but it's just about 100 kilos lighter than the normal M4. And it's close to what you could get as a GTS, if you can put it that way. It doesn't have a scaffolding in.
Sorry to cut you off there, but I also think that with regards to F80, I do think it's one of the most stunning stance. It has one of the most stunning stances on our road nowadays, eh? Yeah, it is.
It's just got that aggressive appeal on it. It's slightly wider.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the M3 and the M4, the M4 looks like it's just watered down.
Yes.
The 4 Series.
Yeah.
Whereas the F80, obviously the F80 is showing that it's got a different unibody.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, you can totally see the difference between the 3 Series. And that's what made an M3 and M3 look different from the 3 Series.
Yes.
Even you look at the E30 M3 that we never got. It looked different from the E30s. 325. Okay, 325 IS was produced in South Africa. Then you go E36. Slightly different. Slightly wider, very, very subtle.
So
E46,
gorgeous.
total difference. You could see the difference immediately.
Yeah.
And then E90, E92. E92 you could see immediately, and the E90, because it was more aggressive. And it just had that lines that appealed to you. And then the M4 is just like, M4 Series.
Yeah.
For
Don't
what?
don't you feel don't you feel that E92 and E90 M3 were the softest M3s?
How do you mean softest?
Not volume of exhaust. I mean softest as in the most easiest to drive.
Hmm.
It doesn't scare you
That's
at all.
that's a pretty good question. It doesn't really scare you because it's pretty well planted.
Yeah, and it's all
Because strangely
motor.
enough, the
Yeah.
center of gravity is slightly different from the other M's,
Yeah.
but the E92's got a wider track.
Yeah.
And so did the E90 M3. It had slightly wider than a normal
Yeah.
E90
Yeah.
3 Series. If you just look at it in place, it might not make a big difference, but it's probably about 20 centimeters, 20 millimeters, that might have made the difference on the track, because the wider the car is, the more planted it is.
Yeah.
That's why you're creating less body roll.
Yeah.
You're creating a longer surface for your,
Yes,
for your
yes,
roll.
yes.
But yeah, they were actually, strangely enough, but they
And
can get pretty aggressive.
they can, but they don't.
get-
They don't feel very, very eager as well because of the amount of revs you're working with. You really need to in that car to
Yeah.
get like I remember driving M3 going. I can't believe how much more like planted this car is to C63. It just doesn't make you go, oh, I'm a pretty bang now. You know what I mean? It just feels
Yeah.
so safe. But it's not a bad thing. Please, people, don't get me wrong. Y'all are tripping probably there now. Don't get me wrong. E92 M3 is fantastic. It's the last of the all-motor greats. I get that, but it's just not the most.
And E92 for me, E92 V8 M3 and E90 V8 M3, the best sounding M3 for me. That's my opinion. Best
Yeah.
sounding. The turbo cars is very quiet because the turbo quietens it down. So
Yeah.
that's about it.
Quick question on E92 M3. I've heard the rumors about the bearings are an actual service on that cars. Funny, no?
They are supposed to be an actual service item on the vehicle, the oil pump,
God
bearings and
above.
and rod bolts.
Oh God! You know that's my problem, and I had this conversation with Ernest. Is the shocking reliability of performance BMWs nowadays. You know, I had
The problem, the problem actually is not that's a reliability issue. It was an issue on maintenance plans that were changed. Maintenance plans were changed on certain vehicles coming into the country because it was too costly for them to maintain it.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. I know guys that do their bearings every 6 months.
Oh.
Every 6 months they do their bearings. They just do it.
Zaid, sorry to cut you there.
The bearings that buy.
Yeah. Quick question. So on the talks of the bearings, it's like what I think confuses me a lot. BMW had the S85 V10. They knew about the bearing issue. They knew about some issues on E46. I mean, this is now going over 20 years ago. Why has the problem bled into E92 and now F90 F10 M5? Like surely they could have made the bearings out of changing tolerances and make the bearings out of better quality.
The thing is that certain models were produced up to a certain year. I think it was 2010, the E90 with the V8s. Then the bearings were changed. The material was changed on the bearings. But as I said, certain vehicles that came into the country, their maintenance priority items were changed. Changed to keep costs down. So that's why if you look at overseas, they don't have a problem with them.
Yeah.
With bearing knocks on the V10 twin turbo, which is the F10, and bearing knock
V8,
on the E60 M5, and then E92 V8 M3. They never had those problems because they use the correct oil. First of all, what type of oil do you have to use on a V8 M3? That has to be 10W60. Why 60? Because of the oil galleries in the varnish. If those block up, of course, it's your problem. And then you need to do the maintenance regularly. You mustn't leave it too late because the tolerances, as I said, tolerances on the motor is very, very small. As if you take a Honda motor, the tolerance is also very, very, very small. So you need to look after it. If you don't look after it, You're just going to break it, and then you turn around and say, it's a cut car. It's a cut motor. But it's not.
It's not, yeah.
Okay, a lot of us are very scared to work on those cars because they're very finicky.
Yeah.
So you need to get the oil levels 100% right. If you've got too much oil in, you're going to get the bearing knock.
Yeah, and that was one of the cars that's still on my short list is E46 M3. As much as I talk cack about that car, like with its reliability, because it is a joke when it comes to reliability. My God, that car will make you bankrupt if you don't know what you're doing. But say there's a purest feel to that car that only 92 and 63. Okay, 63 is a different feeling of a car. It's a crazy car, but there's a purest sensation to the steering feel, to its pedal weights, to its gear throw. It's infectious. You know, if you go for a drive with a 46 M3, once it gets under your skin, it's so hard to get that feeling out. And just imagine, Zaid, a 46 M3 with like an Evolve intake or an Venturi intake or a CSL intake or something on there.
I've driven a CSL number 29.
Wow.
I've driven the CSL. I've driven a normal SMG box, the E46 M3. Look at it. If you work at a BMW dealer, you start to get desensitized on driving M cars.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very seldom that you get an M car, which actually makes you want to drive it, like an F90 M5, which is my favorite car. But it's a brute.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Even with a four-wheel drive system, it wants to come around a little bit when you're going through a bend, which I don't mind. It's not like an F80. An F80, you throw it through the bend, that car's going to decide to go a different way because of the short wheelbase.
But sorry, the thing
E46 has become a cult car now.
Yes, the thing that Ernest and I was saying as well, when it comes to the M5, F90, my God, but that car is stupid, Said. That car scared me.
Look at the smile.
Yeah, that car, dude. I literally drove that car with like my pupil was literally like like the whole time, because where do you put that car into two-wheel drive mode? Okay, it's a long wheelbase. It's not that tricky. It's a bit easier than M3, but the way that thing carries you. But there's one thing about that car that it could not hide, and I can't believe I heard motoring journalists say this. That car does not hide its weight.
No, it doesn't.
And
it doesn't.
It's a shame because it's the one thing BMWs were always good at, was hiding their weight. And with F90 M5, you really feel, you really do feel the weight in corners, especially when you're on the brakes.
Yeah. No, it's look, they went for stupid power to become a GTR killer, which it actually is, but the price tag is ridiculous. It's starting at 2.2 mil. Starting at 2.2.
I'd still buy it. I'd still buy it over GTR. GTR is 2.2 million, and I won't pay the price for this.
I would also won't pay the price for a Datsun, as they say. I'm waiting for you to get some.
Oh, what? Yeah, you're gonna get into trouble here on the live stream. Sorry, on this video. But you know what, Said? Let's take this conversation quickly to GTR. I want to quickly talk about this. You are notorious for not liking a GTR.
I won't hide it. Wahid knows it. Everybody knows it. So, what makes me upset is that it's called a GTR and people call it a Skyline, and that's not the case because it didn't come in two-door, didn't come in four-door, and not station wagon wise. But obviously, it's essentially Niyaaz, you're not going to believe this. You bolt the 370Z subframe out.
Yeah?
You take the GTR subframe with a motor on, and you bolt it straight in.
Yo! Really? But wasn't that the philosophy with the GTR in the first place? The philosophy was to keep build costs down in order to keep the cost price down in order to mass produce the car. Which I thought at first, okay, cool, this isn't really a bad thing. I kind of like this. But then I drove a few and no disrespect to the owners. Roger, fabulous guy. Wahid, Yasin, all of them fantastic people. But the interior quality of those cars, I've said this and I've said this in the past, Nissan's interior quality is absolutely shocking. Some of the worst interiors in the business nowadays.
Yeah, that's the Renault influence there. That's going on there with the plastic everywhere.
Yeah,
type
yeah,
deal.
yeah.
But look, for me, a GTR should have been called a 380Z.
Yeah. Wait a second, you worked for Nissan. That's why you can speak so confidently.
Now, I worked for Nissan South Africa, yeah.
Tell me something. With regards to the reliability of the GTR, I've heard very mixed things. I've heard by some people it's the shittest car they've ever owned. I've heard by some people it's the best car they ever owned. I heard by some people it made them bankrupt within 6 months. I remember having a GTR. Roger gave me his one for the week, and I remember Roger gave me $1,000 petrol to put in that car, right? It only went just over 350 kilometers.
Yeah, that's you can't expect it to be a fuel saver, it's not a fuel saver.
True, I shouldn't be
But
talking about
look,
that.
as you said now, it depends on the owner or the drivers, or sorry, I said it depends on the owner, the driver, and what type of driving they're doing and what they're actually expecting out of a car. So that's four factors which play into part there. Why would they call it that? Now you need to boil it down and say, right, who has pre-V-spec and who has V-spec? And nobody actually takes notice the V-spec is the one with the spotlights in the bumper on the side with the riffles. Now the pre-V-specs were all the ones that had the gearbox issue.
Yes.
Gearbox temperature.
Mercedes gearbox, no?
Warning comes up. Yeah.
But that car is kind
I
of...
was supposed to do GTR, but I never did GTR.
Yeah, R35 is
Cancelled
quite
my
a mixed bag of parts. I was going through its parts list the other day with a friend in the States, and we were breaking the car down in pieces. It is quite a mixed bag of balls, that car.
Yes, look, a lot of manufacturers have cars that just been put together that way. BMW has a car that's been put together. It's called a total abomination, but it's now a collector's item, the 1M or M1. I always get it wrong. Which is the E82 body widened with an E46 gearbox, E90 diff. It's got many generations of stuff in there, and it's a mixed masala bag there of BMW parts. But a lot of companies also don't that try to keep their costs down. So instead of them having to do R&D on a gearbox, they get sublet for another company manufacturer that make a box which can work for their application to hold the power to do what it needs to do, to 7 gears up, all the way down, type of deal. And it just needs to communicate with the ECU or the DME of the vehicle, which is now dynamic motor electronics, which is another name for ECU. And then if the stuff can gel, because normally the electronics is not manufactured by the manufacturer of the vehicle. They're either done by Bosch, Delphi, Nippon Denso, what's the other one? Magnet Marelli. They do all the issues. About five to 10 companies that do it. And you'll notice that certain cars use the same injectors from another car, or sensors from another car, because it keeps your cost, your manufacturing cost down, because you didn't have to research and develop and make this product for that car, for your application, whereas you just pay a company that's already done the R&D just to supply you with the stuff. So you're cutting out a lot of unnecessary money and time that you will be wasting.
So give me 2 seconds. I just want to move quickly. I just want to move there's not enough light here. I'm seeing now on the camera. I look quite dark, so I'm just trying to put on some lights here. Anyway, okay, so you were a great conversation then you had about cars using different parts. And back onto GTR, I am thoroughly impressed with Wahid and Roger's cars, to be more specific. And more on that, Yasin from CPI, my God, that man, when he touches a GTR, I don't know who writes files there and whatnot. I'm not going to get into that. But something about Yasin and a GTR just work together.
Same thing with the CPI and the 6 GTIs, 7 GTIs, 7, not GTIs really in the 7, but 7 Rs. They're doing pretty well. Most of them are in the 10-second bracket. They do very good. And Wahid has owned that car since new. He's owned that car since new because I posted I think I posted a picture on Facebook of memory about 8 or so odd years ago. When he got the car and he brought the car to a family function, he still took a photo with a number plate that's currently on the car. So he's had the car since brand new. And you know what is the funny thing is that we heard now, that through the grapevine of the family is that he came home and he showed his daddy, no, look, yeah, I bought me a Nissan. His daddy like, how much was it Nissan? So obviously the price at that time was over a mil. So his daddy told him, he said, sy kan mos 'n Datsun koop nie. Sy kan my eie gekoop het.
But that's the thing with our culture, no? A Mercedes is status. I remember having working for someone, and there was a fabulous guy who used to work there, and he's, hey, you know this car, you know, must be Mercedes Benz, you know, and I was like, I used to love how Muslims, especially the 786 generation, like, it doesn't matter the Merc. I've always told my dad, no, you can't own a Merc and not park it out, the first car to be parked outside the mosque with a 786 number plate. Otherwise, you're not a true Mercedes-Benz person. I just love the Mercedes culture in South Africa.
You know, I think, I'm not too sure because I don't really understand the previous generation. I try to.
Yeah.
But maybe I should ask my dad about that. But yeah, it was always a status thing. A Mercedes-Benz, C-Class, E-Class, it had to be. As jy kan nie 'n AMG georganiseer het, dan moet jy die badges afhaal.
Yeah.
People must kiss.
Yeah.
The AMG kit on.
Yeah.
But it really is, that generation is all about the Mercedes-Benz. And I think the generation now, you're probably looking at fast hot hatches, possibly 7Rs.
Yeah.
And then you've got your RS3s, S3s, quite a few. That's the type of generation that but also our generation is not, kyk hier, I need to have this type of car to have status. Nee, ons is almost van die Beams en van die VV's en van die VTEC en die B20's. So,
I'm telling you, Zaid, the things I would do to own an E320 W124, the facelift one, is it one, am I right? 124? Yep. And an S500.
You're talking to
Dude,
I
my dad and I went to look at the S500 the other day, which I managed to get him to, because I'm trying to get him to buy a big car, and so I can drive it around, and because I love, me and big cars, and we went to look at this S500, and I'm sitting there, I'm going, oh Niyaaz, just don't do it again, just buy your 63, and don't get sidetracked with the S500 or S something, because there's a opulence to a big Mercedes. Okay, now I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. Those cars are shockingly unreliable, especially here in South Africa. You need to go with on air suspension on those cars when they break. They break by wire, so I think that's a 20-year extended warranty. There's a lot of things on S500 that will give you anxiety. But once you turn the key and just waft down the M5 or the N2 to go to Somerset West or something, or on a holiday, God, that car just take my breath away. But let's move on. Let's move on quickly to our following question. Zaid, if you could buy any car right now, what would it be and why?
Any car.
Yeah.
Any car.
Any car. I don't care if it's a LaFerrari, if it's a GT3, any car.
Now, I got the answer right here. E39 M5.
Why?
It's the boy inside of me. Because that was the original Super Saloon back in the 90s. So it just did something. It's 4 doors. It could go like hell. and it takes me back to before, obviously, the other automotive publication which came out, which is running now in South Africa, which obviously we can't mention on the video. There was another magazine, 3 letters. That's all I have to say. 3 letters. That was the magazine's name. That was the only thing that you had, and I used to go and buy it, and I used to page all the way to the back to see the auto styling ads. But anyway, there's one issue. It was called the Tornado, where they took the E39 M5 motor and they stuck it into an E46.
Wow.
So they said, yes, 5 does go into 3. And this car was crazy. The mere fact that they took an M5 motor and they moved it over into the 3 series or the E46 M3 body was astounding, because look, you're a kid on school, you know about side rows, you hear about this, you go to the Dicers, you know about Riffy and this and Owens that are running on the R300, but you never expected a well-manufactured car engine to be taken out and put into another well-manufactured car. Because look, at that time, you don't know much about the reliability issues. You never cared about it. You only cared about the number on the dial and how much power the car was putting out and what was the quarter mile time.
Quickly, Zaid, I think the part with E39 M5 as well is its reliability. It isn't as bad as other. I think E34 and E39 were some of the best BMWs. I remember back in the day when I was in high school, I used to watch E39 M5 videos all the time. I don't know if you watch a guy on YouTube called E39 Source.
No, I haven't actually. Was looking at us. Yes, I just been.
check on. So when you get time, have a look at a guy called E39 Source. He actually managed to build a box that you fit at the back. You know the old BMs had their radios in the boot.
Yeah.
And then the TV was basically in front, like you had your tower and your monitor. So he built the box that gets Bluetooth in your car. And when you when you go on the little screen in front and you put on, it shows Bluetooth and it shows the song playing. He literally coded that thing to do that. And then he's selling it now on I'll put his link in the description box below, so you guys can go check out E39 Source. The other thing also that he does is he made the indicator, so when you lift it a little bit up, it ticks 3 times. All that technology.
Okay, so that's a one.
Yes, he brought into the car. And I was looking at the C395 and I'm like, my God, what a stunning car. Tell me, do they have subframe cracking issues as well?
That's the E46 M3.
So, not E39?
I haven't heard of a E39 having that problem. I haven't.
They do have bearing issues and Vanos issues and throttle body linkage issues.
Vanos issues is normal with any BMW. They start to clog up. Just give them a bit of a clean. Put them back in, and then. But ultimately they do fail in the Vanos gears and also give up. But obviously, proper maintenance is always key. If you're gonna neglect the car, it's gonna bite you. That's just. This is how it is. Any car will turn around and bite you. There's like, I own a Subaru. It's my second Subaru I'm on. Everybody's like, reliability issues and reliability. You just keep your hand on it.
On a Subaru?
Don't.
Sure.
Say again?
Subaru is one of the most reliable cars, especially when they're all motor. A lot
of people say that getting look, the stigmatism behind it, man. Ringline failure on the turbocharger.
Yeah, of course, turbo is different.
EJ25-7. Now, you've known I had a Forester, which was EJ25-7 with a 2.5 turbo, long block. I now have an EJ25-1, which is the 2.5 non-turbo short block. And you just look after it. And everybody's like, you need to turbocharge it. I say, I can't turbocharge it because I've got an open deck. Anything above 0.6 bar, it's gonna pop the sleeve is just gonna go. So I'd rather put the other motor in there than do that.
My parents as well. They've had 2 Subarus now, both with over 300,000 kilometers on the clock. The one is over 400,000 on the clock, and it hasn't skipped a beat.
Yeah, you get them if you abuse them. Like a lot of people said, I abuse the car. I said the car can handle the abuse. It took the abuse. It did track days. It did drags. It did street to strip. It did robot racing. It did Killarney Outlaws. And it never broke. The new owner's pretty happy with the car now, and he's built a pretty cool Impreza wagon, which I'm not currently driving. We swapped vehicles, and but in the future I'm actually looking to get some two wheels. So the Impreza is going to be up for sale after lockdown.
Sorry if I looking into the camera the whole time. I just realized now my T-shirt is the wrong way on, so like I can see my label here at the back, and I was like, "What the flip's going on here?"
It's a trendsetter.
Yeah, flip, man. So, okay. Yeah, we've been talking for about 45 minutes now. I think let's do one more topic. Rudy Roda. My God. My God, Said. That car brings tears to my eyes.
Look, it's funny. Rudy's a pretty cool guy, and he and I have had very long-standing relationship for many years because MC Saldanha Drags. Since I think 2010, I've been MCing Saldanha Drags. So me and him has built up a pretty good relationship, and he's always had his love for his golfs. He's had Mark 1 golfs. And he's a lover of VR6 motors. So just put it that way. He's done twin turbo VR6 conversions. He's done R32 conversions and into Mark 3s, and guys that built motors over for VR6 and never got it right and was underpowered. He fixed those issues on them. And he and I had a bit of a, not an issue, but something that I will probably never forget between me and Rudy. It was one of the most frightening experiences and the most funniest. We did a test hit at 7 o'clock in the morning at Saldanha on the airstrip. We crossed the line at 240 kilometers an hour. He climbs on the brake and he says, "Figo, we don't have brakes."
Oh, shit.
So we end up going farming, and we had a laugh about it afterwards in Bevan, Bush, Western Province. He had to come and tow us out of this Navara. But we had a little laugh about it, and he drove the car for the rest of the day, and he managed a 250 odd kilometers an hour pass with that car.
Is it right of me to say that there isn't really much out there? Maybe 2JZ, maybe RB26, R30, that 400R, that was a car like that. That's actually a match for a Mach 2 twin turbo VR6 swap nowadays. Because I've been seeing their numbers, and their numbers are, most of them are in the 9s or in the 8s.
Yeah, but the twin turbo VR6 builds, it's pretty expensive, especially if you stay in South Africa. It's very expensive. Because everything from it has to be Pipercross, Shirik. I'm not too sure what the other ones are. But there's a couple of VR12s running overseas, one in the States and one in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. But the VR6 twin turbo is a good setup, but it's costly. It's super costly.
That's one of my dream setups.
Any Silver.
Yeah.
From you know who. She had a turbocharged Mark II called Schizo.
Yes.
And that car crashed on the way to Cape Town for Fast and the Furious and the Glorious. A freak accident happened and the trailer rolled.
Oh, correct.
Now that was a VR6 single turbo, if I'm not mistaken. She can probably correct us in the comments. But that car, I was really excited to see that car. And VR6 is a very understated car because it's one of the best sounding engines ever in our generation. And reliability, everybody's scared about it. I'm even scared of it. I know a friend of mine that's owned quite a few VR6s back in the CTSR days. He had a Golf VR6, Jetta VR6, Golf, Bora VR6, just VR6 everything. And a twin turbo. You want to build your twin turbo VR6?
My dream, bro.
With a quattro system, you can do so because. And the funny thing is, Niyaaz, we're finding out about all these guys that's doing brilliant work with DSG and with Quattro and with all of these systems in Cape Town. Local guys, not guys that you need to send to Joburg, because guys that's here.
So,
it's amazing.
Very interesting you bring it up. When I did my research for my UR S4, I had an S4 that I was going to modify for the channel. That's why I bought the car. The biggest setback that I had was shipping. My parts, so it was gonna be crank. So it wasn't gonna be a 2.2 liter anymore. It was gonna be a 2.1. So we're gonna use 2.1 blocks. So it's crank, scat rods, YCO pistons, RS2 cams, valve train, bolt intake manifold, exhaust, and precision turbo. The turbo we get in South Africa. The flywheel alone, right? The race flywheel with the strengthened first gear. It comes with the first gear for that RS2s. US4 URS4s are known to have weak first gears. They break, so you strengthen the first gear, you put a hardened gear in. Just the flywheel and the strengthened gear would have costed, landed in Cape Town, 48,000 rand. And
Crazy.
it go away, man. This bloody fly is working on my nerves here. And the parts, so my rods, pistons, and the crank, and the valve train would have costed me just under 200,000 rand to get it here into Cape Town. And that's kind of when, but in Europe, it would have costed 70,000 rand.
Yeah, but the shipping and obviously the tax.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy.
And it's sad because I wanted that car to be a 9 or an 8-second URS4, and it's so easy with that chassis because they've been running that numbers all the years, and I wanted to bring that type of caliber of S4 to South Africa, but if I did, I couldn't get a sponsor. I was struggling for months to get a sponsor to help me, and we pitched a few people. Obviously, I can't say. And unfortunately, nothing just panned out. People just don't have the faith, I think, putting money into a car YouTube channel. That there must be an ROI here in South Africa. People are always worried about what am I gonna get out if I give you 500,000 rand, to do your build.
Yeah.
So that's something that, like, as someone who's been running a YouTube channel for long in South Africa, it's hard for me to just take that money and build a car and go, shit, is this really gonna give the person who gave me this money a good ROI for their brand and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, right.
Also, our YouTube community in South Africa is pretty dumbed down. People will watch a video, they will not subscribe. So the literacy, YouTube literacy, is not really there. It's unlike overseas in Australia and States and the UK. It's very different from what we have. So hopefully the guys can start learning. Look, we are trying our best to create content and bring things to you guys that is busy watching now. Yeah. And then, you just need to show a little bit of support. It becomes a little bit daunting.
I've
some of us, like myself, I've lost some faith sometimes in myself because you put a product together and it doesn't get seen, it doesn't get appreciated, and it's really
it knocks you.
It's really demoralizing.
Yeah, that's something that's one of the most hectic things I think that I've been facing on YouTube was money. It's costing so much to run a YouTube channel, and it's putting me in a position where I can't get my head above water. And it'll be a GoPro that breaks, and the GoPro is 8.5 grand. It'll be like my gimbal that just recently went. That's 2 grand. It'll be a microphone that went. It's 4 grand. My PC now is on its way out. It's not strong enough because I'm starting to shoot in 4K, and my PC is just giving up the ghost. So a new PC is gonna cost me 12, another 15,000 rand. And it really hits you. People don't see the hectic crap that goes on in the background.
Yeah. I just think you put a video together, it's like an easy, but it's a lot of, because look, I need to invest in a PC or a laptop that can edit, because it's difficult, and logistic wise, because normally myself and Ryan work together. It's very difficult because I'm now out in the south and he's out in Tableview, so logistically it becomes a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
And so that's just people become very, very nasty.
Yeah.
Their comments and their feedback. So look, we take it with a pinch of salt. Sometimes we just rub it off and we try not to react. I try to respond to every comment that I can on YouTube. But
So-
obviously, you've known that I've placed most of my time on Facebook and promoting certain things like supporting local food vendors, local food growers, and especially during this time of lockdown because these guys are struggling and they need to feed their families as well.
But you've got quite a following on Facebook.
Yeah, I do, but look, it's not like I'm making a dent or anything like that.
Yeah.
I feel that the reach could have been a lot better, but I'm not gonna cry about it because I do certain things and I get a very good response, but I get a very good reach out to certain posts.
Yeah.
I try to make a joke now and then, but not everybody's gonna be on my level of sense of humor.
And
so
oh my word.
I've also had a very supportive person walk in and out of my life now recently, and yes, that person's really opened my eyes to a lot of things.
I'm so glad you
I've started implementing.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up oh shit, I forgot now. What was it now? You brought up something. What was it you brought up now? Like, oh my word, I had it on my mind and now it's gone. Sorry. Yes, no. It was responding to haters. I started getting this thing now where like a hater will type something in my comments and I'm like, well, fuck you too, mate. I started typing that now because like I literally don't give two fucks anymore, to be honest with you. I'm at the point now where if you're gonna come at me, I'm gonna bomb you and you better know like how to compose yourself because people don't get my humor, Zaid. I have very dark humor. You know me well, no? And I haven't really been.
That takes me back to that post, right? When you say congratulations, right? On I think it was on the Champaki video.
Oh.
So I said something, and then somebody commented and said, "How can you not even say thank you? What is wrong with you?" Like, but me and Niyaaz, all like this.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. I haven't tried to thank anybody. So
no, I'm there now. I'm literally there now. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. You guys can check Zaid out in the description box below. Please go along and subscribe there. Check him out, check what he's doing, and support him, show him some support. Also check him out on his different social media platforms. You should see it on his YouTube page. I'm just going to link his YouTube channel down below. I struggle with connecting the Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. So yeah, we had some controversial topics here, Zaid. I hope no one is going to go cry now that Niyaaz and Zaid said this cuck about the score. Because this was just a nice, fun conversation. So yeah, thank you, Zaid.
Yeah. Pleasure, my brother. Be free, be
Liberebil out.